Well, one of the things that Jay Shetty also talked about was using only one device at a time. How many times have you found yourself, maybe you're watching a show, but you have your phone in your hand, or you're talking on the phone and you're, doing just all kinds of things. I guess technically, if you were cooking and having a device in your hand, that would be considered one thing. But a lot of the time, if I'm cooking, I have a radio on, so that's a device.
Mhm.
And I think the whole point is, so if and I would even go as far to say, if you're driving, that is the device and that is the only thing that you should be doing in those moments. If it's the phone, then that's the device, and the whole purpose is to keep a little more focused. you know he talked about something really interesting in his podcast, and it was about texting and driving. He polled the people who were in his class, say, and he said, how many of you feel like you can do more than one thing at the same time? And most everybody raised their hand, and he asked, how many of you think that you're good at texting and driving? And a lot of people raised their hand.
Mm.
And people would say, oh, well, I can have my phone in one hand and the steering wheel in the other, and didn't really see a problem with it. So then he had other people that were in the room, and they stood up and said, well, now we'd like to share our story. We lost a loved one to someone who was texting and driving. They hit and killed my loved one. And he said almost every single one of those people who raised their hand and said that they were proud, that they were able to text and drive, were in tears over what
Mm.
happened to those families. And the hope was that it would make them think twice before thinking that that was a smart thing to do.